The Outsider. A film adaptation, rare for Stephen King's late work, with a whole scattering of stars, and not only as actors. Ben Mendelsohn and Cynthia Erivo in the frame, as well as the recent Emmy Award winner Jason Bateman, who not only played a major role, but also directed several episodes. In addition, the project is directed by Karen Kusama and writer Dennis Lehine. This series will tell about the investigation of the rape and murder of an 11-year-old boy. Evidence and fingerprints prove the guilt of the coach of the local baseball team, and surveillance cameras confirm the alibi of the man. King himself, not embarrassed to criticize the film adaptation of his works, proudly wrote that Alien is one of the best adaptations of his work, and he very much hopes that it will not go unnoticed.
I didn't kill that kid, Ralph.
Never imagined.
Bridge crew, listen up. I need a course back to Earth. There's a lot of people.
Avenue 5. The veteran of British TV, the creator of the main American political comedy Vice President, and the director of the scandalous, naturally, only in Russia, film The Death of Stalin Armando Iannucci returns to HBO. The new project of the Briton is very different from his previous work, no politics and history, only humor, outer space and the bearded Hugh Laurie. Avenue 5 Inches is a science fiction comedy about the future, in which the main areas of tourism are traveling through endless space. Due to accidental breakdown of the liner, the commander, crew and passengers are left without help far from the Earth. The entire planet will observe their attempts to return and restore the reputation of the new tourism industry.
If there are people to blame, they shall be blamed. I know nothing of the day-to-day goings-on. That has literally nothing to do with Herman Judd. Okay?
Run. Longtime friends Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Vicky Jones, working together on Rubbish, theatrical production and the series, and Killing Eve, continue to collaborate and will soon release a new TV project. They are preparing the comedy series Run, the story of Ruby, tired of the boring life, who receives a message from her first boyfriend Billy, who became a famous life coach. He offers her to go on the main journey of their life. The woman happily agrees. One of the secondary roles in the series was played by Waller-Bridge herself. Given the high bar that the previous series of the duo took, we expect that Run will become a potential hit or at least a strong comedic rethinking of the thriller genre.
Hello, could you take us to the nearest station?
You help me get this badger in the van. I'll give you guys a ride.
I don't want to end here. Run.
Don't say that unless you mean it.
Perry Mason. Perry Mason is a well-known character in American literature, a lawyer from Los Angeles who practices non-standard ways of protecting defendants. His activities are not limited to the court. He also conducts his own investigations, investigates crime scenes and studies material evidence. An impressive legacy of more than 80 novels, 6 adaptations, and 2 series. Once wanted to continue with Robert Downey Jr., who eventually became a HBO series. After several years of project downtime, the actor gave way to Matthew Rhys, but remained as a producer. The mini-series will be both a reboot and a rethinking of the character of Earl Gardner and tell about the period of the Great Depression. In 1932, Perry Mason, suffering from memories of a failed marriage and PTSD since the First World War, takes on one of the high-profile cases of the decade. It begins with an unsuccessful abduction, but with a snowball it involves the entire top of Los Angeles, forcing the hero to reveal the truth about the criminal life of the city.
Why are you digging so hard?
It's the way I play the game.
You want to know things, Mr. Mason. You want to prove things. What comfort has that ever given you?
candidate for President Charles Lindbergh.
The plot against America. In the middle of the decade, the American novelist Philip Roth began to be actively filmed. Then in 3 years 3 films were released based on his works, Humiliation, Resentment, and American Pastoral. The next film adaptation is waiting for us next year. This is a mini-series produced by David Simon from HBO based on the novel Conspiracy Against America. In it, Roth goes into thought about an alternative story and uses the subjunctive mood. In the 1940 presidential election, Franklin Roosevelt loses to aviator and populist Charles Lindbergh, who makes an alliance with the Third Reich. Through the eyes of an ordinary Jewish family from New Jersey, the viewer will see an increase in anti-Semitic sentiments, xenophobia, and the imposition of Nazi ideas on Americans. In general, another series, which many viewers can proudly call relevant.
We have to get out.
They've closed the borders.
This is my country.
Not anymore. It is the Jew haters. It is the America firsters. It's their country.
The 33rd President of the United States, Charles.
What just happened?
I know this much is true. Derek Cianfrance, director of Valentine's and Places Under the Pines, disappeared from the radar after the unsuccessful drama Light in the Ocean. The new HBO series should be his triumphant return, albeit to small screens. I know that much of this is true will take advantage of one of the main trump cards of the two, and show the viewer two Markov follow at once. The actor will play the role of twin brothers, Dominic, who recalls a difficult childhood, survives the death of his first child and tries to find out family secrets, as well as Thomas, suffering from paranoid schizophrenia of a man who is ready to sacrifice himself to stop the Gulf War. Bestseller Wally Lamb explores grief, personal failure, the loss and inextricable connection of personal and family, an arsenal of those with which Cianfrance already managed to work in the movies.
Hey, Dominic?
What'd you do?
If I had kids, I would not let this man near my children.
I'm probably more dangerous than he is. This guy is harmless.
Your brother was placed in a forensic hospital because he's seriously mentally ill.
Can I talk to you, please? Touch him, man.
I have to take care of my brother. That's just something that I have to do. I have to do it. Don't you get it? Your mom is dying.
I think you need to let go a little.
You don't just give up on the people you love.
Promise me, Dominic.
I'm gonna get you out of here. I promise.
I had this idea of the perfect life, which I got from you and Mom. That's really all I wanted.
The Undoing. Next year, expect a powerful line of mini-series from HBO. One of them is Playback, an adaptation of Jean Hanff Korelitz's novel, which is being handled by a veteran of American TV, and concurrently with Big Little Lies scriptwriter David E. Kelley and Danish director Susan Burke-Box. This is the story of Grace, a successful therapist from New York. She enjoys the life she always dreamed. She feels the support of a loving husband and brings up her son, who is studying at the city's elite school. Her first book is about to be released, in which Grace addresses women and advises her to always listen to her intuition and trust her first impressions of men. However, as luck would have it, she becomes a victim of her advice a few weeks before publication. Her husband disappears, after which there remains a chain of frightening revelations and a loud PR scandal.
Who are you? This person something terrible happened to.
The Third Day. a new series from the creator of Utopia, Dennis Kelly, which already at the synopsis stage seems like another formalist experiment. The third day, despite the declared 6 episodes, is just 2 stories of people who arrived on a strange island near the UK. The first, with the laconic name Summer, is dedicated to Sam, a man who is trying to do everything to prevent a dangerous ritual of the islanders. The second story, Winter, tells about the arrival on the mysterious island of Elena, a girl who wanted to find answers to important questions for herself, but was forced to save her life.
We can be.
Yo, are you here for the girl sesh?
I guess.
See, I told you word of mouth.
You know the new word of mouth is the internet, right?
Right, she said the internet was the new word of mouth. She's still here.
Betty. More recently, it became known that HBO, among other things, is developing a mini-series based on one of the best skateboarding films of recent years, Skate Kitchens by Crystal Mossel. He, like the original picture, will be dedicated to a group of girls who solve personal problems, while simultaneously gaining a place in the male and extremely hostile world of skateboarding. The channel ordered 6 episodes, the filming of which is already in full swing on the streets of New York.
You know why we're not going to lose money on this? Because what we do keeps the world's economy afloat. Don't ever forget that.
ZeroZeroZero, a large-scale project of the master of modern Italian crime film Stefano Sollima, believably showing the mechanisms of the world drug trafficking. At the heart of the series, ZeroZeroZero is the best-selling book of Roberto Saviano. Previously, Sollima and Saviano have already worked on the triumphant Gomorrah. Sollima recently made her successful debut in Hollywood with the sequel to the movie The Killer. Gabriel Byrne, Andrea Riseborough and Dane DeHaan play the main roles in Zero and OL Nero, and the plot is built around a tanker with a huge lot of cocaine.
México nos entrenó para ser los mejores, y lo somos.
Bottom line, what's it gonna take for me to get my cargo delivered safely?
No puedo tener un chivatón en mi equipo.
We gotta go. So please, you come. Go! Go!
What was Dad's #1 rule?
Money solves everything.
Exactly, kiddo.